Here's an example, a multiplication. So what's nice, again, about multiplication is I don't have to worry about whether or not the denominators are common. I can go right into factoring and canceling. So there's a couple ways to go about this. With number one, there is no factoring. I don't have any quadratics or anything like that. There's a couple ways to do this. You could just multiply this times this, and this times this, and this times this, and this times this to get sort of one super fraction. Or what I like to do is sort of skip that and make a super fraction this way. Now that they're all sort of on the same line, now I can cancel and reduce as I please. So, for example, I have a 4 on the top. That'll cancel with the 4 on the bottom. Okay. I have three x's on top will cancel with 3 of my x's from the bottom, which makes that x squared. I have 3/21. This right here is a fraction that will reduce. 3 over 21 is 1 over 7. And now 14 over 7 I can reduce to 2 over 1. And so what you end up writing is just sort of what's left over. On the top, all I have on the top is this 1 and that 2. That's it. Everything else is crossed out. 1 times 2 is 2. On the bottom, all I have is this x squared, this 1, and this x squared. So it's x squared times 1 times x squared, which is x to the 4th. And that's your answer. So it's important, if you're going to do it that way, that you sort of keep track of everything, cross things out as they cancel, and rewrite things below. If that makes sense to do it that way, you can certainly do it that way, or you can just multiply everything straight across into what's some sort of like super fraction, and that works perfectly fine too. So an example, I'll show you an example of that. Let's see if I have it. I don't actually have one on this page. We'll do one later. So now number 2, you'll see that I do need to factor first. So what you're going to do is you're going to factor all the things that can be factored and then cancel out things that need to be canceled. So I'm going to make this a giant sort of super fraction here. And I'm going to factor all the things that I know that I can factor. So it's all of these. I don't care that they have common denominators or not. Okay, and now I'm going to fill this in. So the top right, what multiplies to be -6 and adds to be 1 is x plus 3 and x minus 2. Bottom right, what multiplies to be -3 and adds to be -2 is x minus 3 and x plus 1. And then the bottom left, what multiplies to be -3 and adds to be 2 is x plus 3 and x minus 1. And now I can freely sort of cancel things out that need to be canceled. So first off, I have an x plus 1 that will cancel out with the x plus 1 down here. They do need to be on opposite sides of the fraction. They can't be on the same side. I have an x plus 3 that'll cancel with an x plus 3. And that looks like that's it as far as common factors that can be canceled. So on top, all I have is the x minus 2. And the bottom, I have x minus 1 and x minus 3. And that's it. That's completely simplified. If you'd like to make the bottom a quadratic by foiling, you can, but that's the same thing. So that's multiplication, pretty simple. Just multiplying straight across, and factoring. If you remember, just to factor first and then cancel if you can.